What's up, Kelly?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's been a while, man. When was the last time I had you on my podcast?
It was a minute. I was on with Mr. Baker and
Yep.
Aaron Berg, and
Yes.
yeah, it was. I think it was the four of us talking. That was like a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, that was actually fun. That was a fun panel.
Oh, it was a blast. Yeah, it was. It was fun. I remember looking back on it. It was like we're a funny group of people.
Absolutely. It was kind of funny because I still do the panels from time to time, but
Mhm.
they were a lot harder to like to coordinate. Like it was hard to like coordinate three people for like one taping, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I vaguely remember being like, well, I can't do that, but I can do this. And
Yeah.
looking at it now, it'd be like from your point of view, you have to be nice to the person, but you're also like, fuck, I can't just say yes.
Well, it's one of those things where people have asked me, like, why don't you do panels as much anymore? And I do them from time to time. And I just did one with three cast members from Ozark, which was pretty cool. I haven't posted it
Nice.
yet, but like it's because I like it's not like I don't want to do them anymore. It's just they're harder to coordinate.
These are easier. And I mean, sometimes it's also, I mean, I love all kinds of different interviews, and I'm starting to do some Instagram live like discussions too, because it's nice, just especially when we're all cooped in, just to have like a one-on-one.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
the panels are great too because it's nice, it's interesting, and I remember this happened with ours. You get people talking about all kinds of different stuff, and then it's like, oh, you do that too, or there's a way to coordinate, like instead of people realize the common threads of their different industries.
Oh,
But you
100%.
you do a great job of doing this, and congratulations on how you've been building this, man. It's really great.
Thank you. I was about to say, like, you tune in for some of my lives, and I really
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
yeah. If I see you on, I definitely tune in at least for a chunk. And Charles Baker's going to be on after me, right, tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna do him around 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
All right. If I can, I'm going to pop in and just say, yo,
That was a stacked panel because Aaron Berg, like Aaron, did some really cool stand-up stuff. Like
yeah.
that was good. There was that was star-studded, man. That was a good panel.
It was good. It was a lot of fun.
What's up, Kevin? Kevin
Hey.
from Ozark, who I was
Oh,
just
cool.
telling you
Hey,
about.
Kevin, how you doing? That's a
So
great
this is,
show, man.
and you
That's a
are
great show.
Kelly Aucoin from Billions, correct?
Correct. Well, from
Dollar
Brooklyn,
Bill.
but yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. It's
And you know
it's
what?
a
It's
fun show.
pretty
I
cool.
miss it.
But it's pretty cool because your character Dollar Bill's always been around on Billions, but like you're like a series regular now, aren't you?
Yeah, right before last season, the character had been growing steadily over the first three seasons, and then between seasons three and four, they decided to make him a regular, which was great. It's a little bit of stability. And
Congratulations.
thank you very much. And I can't lie. At this point, given everything that's happening and all the shows that are out of production or been canceled, it's nice to have had a year of stability and knowing that when we come back, and we've been told time and time again, we are coming back, that there'll be something for me to go to. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky. I know that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Kevin says congratulations to you about that.
Thanks, my man. Appreciate that.
He had Ozark. Did you watch Ozark season 3 yet?
No, I'm
You
literally, I've seen season one. I'm way behind. It's
you
great
got
though.
you gotta get in there, and
Yeah, well,
Kevin plays Sam Dermody, the real estate agent. Well, you know him as
yep.
the real estate agent in season 1. But it's crazy to see too because you're you've also done other shows too. You've done
Yeah.
also the Americans, correct?
Right. Right.
And
And
you've done all like there's been other things you've done, right?
House of Cards before that. Yeah.
House of Cards. And it's one of those things where people kind of saw you in a more kind of frequent role on Billions, and we're like,
hmm
hey, who's this Kelly guy? Like, where did he come from? But it's like, man, like I've been working for like over like for a long time in this industry. You know what I mean?
It is funny I mean that whole overnight success thing. The overnight success takes 20 years, and then all of a sudden something happens. Look, I came to New York like a lot of us. Hope you don't mind me drinking. It's after 6 o'clock, so
Yeah.
but like a lot of us, we came to New York instead of LA because we were theater fanatics, you know, and it's not saying that we didn't want to do TV or film, but we decided that on the whole, we decided that if we were going to make a career, we were going to focus on theater. And if the other happened, fantastic. But theater was what we loved. And in doing that, you do understand that might mean you won't make as much money. You won't have the stability and all that kind of crap. But what's been really nice is over the past 10 years or so, there have been so many productions that have now come to New York and start shooting. And so you start seeing these wonderful actors who have been honing their craft and for the love of it on stage for so many years. And now they're getting a chance to show what they can do on screen. And Billions is loaded with people who've done theater. There's not a series regular or primary recurring character on that show who hasn't done tons of theater. And so that's exciting. That's exciting for me.
But what I think cool about Billions is, like, you know, you did House of Cards and you did, you know, The Americans, but you have, you know, people on Billions that, you know, have done Homeland, not right?
Yeah, of
And
course.
you'd have people that have done Orange is the New Black, and you've had people that have done like so many shows, and it's one of those things where their resumes speak for themselves, and they come on
Mhm.
another show, and it's just like they hit it out of the park like usual.
Yeah, or they've done, you know, they've been nominated for, like Condola Rashad, who plays Kate Sacker on our show, has been nominated for 4 Tonys.
Mhm.
You know, and Sarah Stiles, who plays Bonnie, just did an amazing run on Broadway with Tootsie, and she played the Terry Gar role. Stephen Kunkin, who plays Ari Spiros, the guy my character loves to hate, you know, and one of my best buddies. He was nominated for a Tony. You know, like, people do theater. Ben Kim, the guy, Daniel Isaac, who plays Ben Kim, writes plays and is in plays constantly. It's a great. And Dan Soder, as you know, one of the funniest men I know.
He
I
was
mean, if
brought up a lot in our panel, right? Because
yeah,
like Aaron is
Berg knows him. Yeah.
yeah.
Look, and if anyone watching right now doesn't know Dan Soder, go and check out his specials. He is so fucking funny.
He's
And
someone that I've wanted to have. I've sent him emails, I haven't heard, but like he's someone that I really wanted to have on the show because he is so funny. And he's
he's
one
so
of
funny.
those guys, he's not like, sometimes he's not even trying to be funny and he's funny. You know what I mean?
He's whenever you're on set with him, you know, he's going to be speaking more than anybody else. He's got his brain. From my perspective, his brain is always firing, and everything he thinks, he speaks. And so you're just sort of like, you try to keep up, and then all of a sudden, after a while, you're just like, I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna laugh, and my jaw's gonna hurt by the end of the day. And you know, you hope that he's not making you laugh right before you have to do your scene, because the scene is, you know, about the death of your mom or something, and you have to be.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah, but he's the guy's great, and he's sweet. Everyone on the show is. We're very lucky for a show that's so much about human toxicity. It's amazing how wonderful the people are. It's like a little family.
You know, and you know what? It's funny because there was a lot of Toronto. I'm from Ottawa. I'm in Ottawa in Canada here. There's a lot of Toronto actors that are on Lock and Key, which is on Netflix. That got renewed for season
Totally.
2,
Yeah.
and they said it too. Like, a lot of cast members told me, and it's like, you know what? It sounds cliche, but he's like, you know, the cast and crew of Lock and Key, like, we're a big family. And he's like, I've been, you know, a recurring and guest star on other shows that
Yeah.
like it wasn't a family. You know what I mean? Because people
Yeah.
think you hear about it all the time, like, oh, you work on a show for this many years, you are all going to hit it off. But sometimes it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean?
No, and I've been on many shows where it doesn't, and I mean, it's awkward. I've been on shows where I've been just there for an episode, you know, and I'm there for a few days, a week or whatever, and or even one day, and you can sense the vibe. Like, there are shows that I won't name where it's like, oh, nobody wants to be here. They all want the paycheck, but nobody wants to be here. Or it's just, these are all terrible people,
For sure.
which is terrible, which is awful. But coming from theater, like, the thing that brought me to theater to begin with, I think, was the family and the instant community, and just a bunch of wonderful misfits who want to get together and do some weird shit. And that's what I'm finding on Billions, and that's what I sort of found on The Americans too. You know, I wasn't on as much. I'm on pretty much, I'm on every episode in Billions. I was on more intermittently with the Americans, but it's nice to have that kind of family.
Are
When I
you
broke my,
actually in all of episodes of Billions, like, or like
I think
ninety
over the,
percent or?
yeah, I think there were like 4 or 5 episodes I wasn't in early
Wow.
on.
Dollar
But
Bill is around, right? You know,
he's around, but
he's you're a pain
yeah,
in the ass, but you're around. Huh?
but there's some episodes where it's just like, oh, that's Dollar Bill in the background. I see him. I see he's a little blurry,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Or
But
I found out my industry friends were telling me, is it true? Like, you know, on sometimes like there's like the previously on Suits or previously on
yeah,
Billions, right? And they
yeah,
show a clip of you in the past episode.
yeah.
Does that count as an episode?
No, but they have to pay you.
Okay, but
So,
like, it does count as an episode, doesn't it? On like
no,
IMDb?
I
I
don't. Well, okay,
I've
maybe it
seen
does.
people do that. Like for example, I had a friend who was on one episode of Suits, but it says three because they go back. Yeah, yeah, like,
That's sneaky. I like this friend of yours. That's some devious shit. I like
yeah. You
that.
see, Kevin says they do. Yeah, they do. Kevin Ozark said they do. Isn't that is?
Maybe, and you know what? There's an argument to be made, a legit argument, because so if your role was so important that it resonates, and they have to make sure that whoever's tuning in this episode remembers that, then fuck it. You were important enough. You are a recurring character in that sense. So I
For
get it,
sure.
and I'm totally down for
You
that.
know what I've noticed about these Instagram lives, and you've done a few of them. Charles Baker's done a few of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've noticed there's kind of like with Kevin, you know, watching right now. There's like it's bringing people together from like the
Yeah.
entertainment like industry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like people are kind of coming on and supporting each other and
Yep.
meeting each other and you know, oh, this like I have you from Billions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A guy from Ozark is watching right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Totally.
You might connect. I'm like I feel like it's pretty unique way of like interacting people and like
Yeah.
meeting people a little bit.
It's great. Yeah, it's nice. And I mean, I've had a friend who's been trying to push me to do podcasts for a long time, and it just seems like so much. And I may, but it's so much overhead. You know, not money wise, but just like a lot of work.
Well,
This actually is a built-in. Look at us. Like we got a split screen. We both got these things in, but nothing else. We don't have like a big mic. I have one. I haven't figured out how to hook up yet. This is great. I mean, I got to figure out my background a little bit better.
yeah,
What?
someone was chirping you before, like saying I gotta go back in the comments saying like you don't read all those books or something
Ah,
like
I read every one of these books. I read it. Well, no, wait, no. I haven't read this one, but I've read every one of those other ones. Yeah. Some of
Well, you
these
know,
are so, yeah, go ahead.
if you do, oh, sorry, continue what you're gonna say.
No, I was just gonna say, so like I love to read books. These are actually I've read them over the years. These are some of the science fiction or fantasy ones that I like. There are all kinds of other books that are from different genres in the rest of the house that I haven't read as many of. But
Hmm.
these, yeah, definitely. I read all these. These are the Game of Thrones books,
Wow.
which I read and initially didn't even watch the show because I was like, how can they be as
But
good? And then I got hooked.
you've watched it though,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. Then
So
I watched. I got over myself when I watched it. It was like these were fucking
do you
great.
remember season one when Arya's being taught to sword fight?
Yeah, totally. With Needle.
But
Yeah.
yeah, with Syrio Forel. Like I've had him on my show, which is pretty cool.
Get the fuck out. Really?
Yeah, I just had him on live like 2 weeks ago, and he said like the line and everything.
I missed that. Oh, I was so
Miltos,
sad
yeah,
when
Miltos
he
Herman.
died. I mean,
Yeah.
I could probably what if we had more time, I would get on. I would find
Well,
that
why don't we
section.
do a
I'd read it
pan?
to you.
We should do like a panel, like me, you, and
Yeah,
him. How fun
totally.
would that be?
That'd be a blast. That'd be a blast. And he fulfilled that role perfectly. That was one of my favorite characters from the first book, and he was great. It was a
He told me there
perfectly
was like
cast show.
he was nervous about that a little bit.
Of course.
Like yeah, because like he's in the book, right? Like how do you kind of put
Yeah.
it on the screen? Like he said he was nervous about that a little
And
bit. It was interesting.
people forget now that the first few books were out already, and they were a literary sensation. Nobody really remembers that now because the show was so popular. So there was all kinds of stuff. Like my friend Pedro Pascal, who played the Viper. We did a
Yeah.
show together in New York, and we were buddies. And all of a sudden, he was doing the Viper, which was one of the breakout characters from that first couple seasons. First season or second season, whichever it was. maybe even third. But
Pedro
anyway, it was
Pascal, like Pedro Pascal,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, like
like
Pedro Pascal.
like Narcos, Pedro
Yes,
Pascal.
he
He's
was
your
the
friend.
Viper.
You just name drop Pedro Pascal like this.
Look, I haven't seen him in quite a while, but yes, we were buddies from
Holy
theater. We did a show
smokes!
together.
I love
We
that guy.
yeah,
He's one of the best. He's
he's
amazing.
he's amazing. He's incredible. But I remember talking to him. I think he hadn't shot yet, but it had been announced, and I texted him to say congratulations, and
You just
I
said
was like,
that so like sorry. You just caught me off guard. You just said that so
I'm sorry,
like spontaneous.
I'm
Say, oh,
sorry,
you know, my friend Pedro Pascal would be like wrestlers. Like, you know, my friend
I'm
John
sorry.
Cena. You know what I mean?
Sorry, that was a little douchey. I didn't mean it
No,
that
no,
way,
it
but
wasn't. It was just like I just wanted to make
he
sure.
he was it was just going back and forth was awesome. He's like, "Do you have any?" Because I was like, "I love that character. We read the books." And Carolyn and my wife and I were, like fanatics of the books, and he was like, "Do you have any insight?" And I said something like, "Yeah, it's just he's a great character." And he's like, "That's not helpful."
it's
But I'm
it's
so happy for him because it's huge.
it's really so you were talking a little bit about kind of like you want to kind of start like you were saying like you poked around with the idea of possibly starting a podcast one day.
Yeah, yeah,
And the thing about the podcast sphere, and I think a lot of people look at Popternative, and I've been doing Popternative since 2015. I do the
oh
video
wow,
episodes on my YouTube, but only a year and a half ago I got like a podcast host, Libsyn, and I've been posting the audio only episodes, and people can go on Spotify and Apple to listen to the audio only as well. But I've been only
okay,
doing it for a year or two on so 4 years it was only available video, and then like a year ago I put it on audio, and I don't really push it as much, Kelly. Like
right,
I'll link them a bit, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
a couple of days ago we surpassed 100,000 audio only downloads,
dude, congratulations.
which like
That's
that kind
amazing.
of that so that told me a couple of things. That told me, one, I'm doing something that works,
Yep, yep,
and then two, it shows that people have different kind of methods of how they want to like watch things. Even if it is
yeah,
like a video, they want to maybe listen to it, or they don't want to watch it, they want to listen to it. But
yeah,
people ask me like what to do. But I found kind of something that worked for me, man. Like they're shorter episodes, you know what I mean? Podcasts are
yep,
usually like an hour long. Mine are like 20-minute episodes, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, I interview people I don't limit who I interview. Like I interview athletes, I interview, actors, musicians, people from lifestyle, influencers, pro wrestlers. Like I interview everyone. And it
right,
works for me. You got to do what works. If I would give
yeah.
you any advice about making a podcast, do what works for you. Play around with some stuff, get the content out, and then if it worked for you and you're comfortable about it, just keep doing it.
Yeah. No, that's great advice, brother. And I'll probably come back to you for more. I'll probably grab you to be on the podcast actually.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But
No, Kelly, you're
yeah.
you're you're awesome, man. Like I've followed you and connected with you, and you know what's cool is like you're one of those. So here's the thing too. What I really like too is I'll have a lot of guests on my show and like Kevin's an example of this too. I'll have guests on my show, and like you do the show, okay, great, right? And then you post it, people share, and then that's it. But it happens a lot with guys like yourself, Kevin L. Johnson, my friend Lee Arenberg from Pirates Caribbean, Neil Tosh, Game of Thrones, where like you do the episode, but then like you keep in touch and you hit it off, you become friends with these people.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, this is the thing that can sometimes happen. Like this can be just another way of connecting with people. And
Yeah.
how nice now, given the current circumstances, that we actually have this technology so that we can actually connect. I mean, how many Zoom happy hour friend parties have you had?
Dude,
It's
there was
like it's
apparently I was on with my friend. They went to a Zoom wedding. Have you heard of that? Like people
I
got
have not.
married on
But
Zoom.
of course, yeah, people who don't want to wait. I mean, and
Yeah.
I get waiting, and because maybe something, whatever. But the ideal will happen. But I also get not, and it's look, it's we don't know. We're in a new abnormal now, and
Yeah.
we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if even if it wanes. I keep hearing about a spike in September.
Sub,
Who the fuck
sub
knows?
Tristan, my friend Tristan Dilala just joined. Very talented actor. I don't know if you
Hey,
saw Long Shot with Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron.
No, I haven't. But actually,
He
I
he's
have
in
that.
it.
That's on my DVR. I still have a DVR. That's
He's
how
in
old I
it, and
am.
he has a very
Okay,
good role in that. And he's in
nice.
a lot of cool shows in Canada, like a show called Nurses. He's in a show. Um, he was in a show called The Moody's on Fox with Jay Baruchel. He's in a lot of
Oh,
really cool
nice.
things. So I just want to
Oh,
give a quick
excellent.
shout out.
Nice to meet you,
Um,
Tristan.
Kevin, you've been in here. Kev, you've been in here for a little bit. Do you have a question for Kelly? Because I find that I've
This.
been doing that. He's been tuning in for a while, so I was wondering if
Okay.
you have a question for Kelly for a wrap up. That'd be cool. And then, oh,
Rumors
oh,
about
is
when production will be back up. I haven't. We shot through episode 7. I was there on the last day of filming. We just got into the beginning of episode 8, and I was. It was a Thursday. We were supposed to go to Friday, and then we had like a week sort of spring break hiatus built in. And by the time I got there for the last scene of the night, they had announced, "Look, we're gonna call it quits for now, and we're gonna come back." So we got 7 episodes. Showtime announced that they're going to air the 7 episodes, and we're going to get back to filming the back half when we can. I guess it's going to end up being like, the final Mad Men season that was separated by a bit of a chunk. That's just me talking. I don't know about them. And that's not to say this is our last season. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's it's going to be a split season.
do you have
Um,
some like I watch Billions, but do you have some friends that watch Billions? Because sometimes it gets very intense and complicated. Like it does. Do you have some
yeah,
friends that are like, listen, Kelly, I love you, man, but like I tried and it's hard. Like, has that happened?
I think my parents, I suspect, I don't think they're watching because I'm not sure how up they are on Instagram, but I don't think my parents would watch if I wasn't on. Um,
Yeah.
but not because of the
Someone so,
quality, because
someone
they
just
think it's,
said hi from someone just said hi from Colombia, by the way. They're a huge fan of yourself and the show.
oh, sweet, from Colombia,
Yeah.
or Columbia, Maryland, or are we talking Colombia, the country of Colombia? Whatever. I'm assuming it's the latter. That's
I think
great.
it's I think Colombia the country.
Oh, shout out to Colombia.
And isn't that
Fantastic.
cool? Like how everyone from all around the world can kind of tune in
Yeah.
for this. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's great. And no, I was just going to say my
Your
parents,
parents. Yeah.
I think the only reason they wouldn't necessarily tune in, I think they're torn. They don't like to see their son be such an asshole.
Yeah,
Um,
you're such a
but
jerk on
they,
that show,
I am a
Kelly.
jerk. Yeah.
Like,
They
get out of here,
appreciate,
Dollar
they,
Bill. Like,
I
go
think
over
they
there.
appreciate it, but yeah, go sit in the
Like,
corner.
just
Think
go.
about
Yeah,
what you've
Dollar
done.
Bill. All right, Dollar Bill. Go in the corner, Dollar Bill.
You think about what you've done.
But you also,
Uh,
your character has like there's no there's no filter. Like, he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't. Which is really fun because I do. I care so much.
Yeah.
So it's fun to like inhabit the skin of a person, even
It's
if
so
he's a
funny
person
though. Like, Dollar
I would
Bill.
never ever want to hang out with him. He's so diametrically opposed to me, but it's fun to inhabit that guy. It's fun to misbehave.
He loved loved the scene. Kevin says he loved the scene where you and Damien had a fake fight at the office.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. I love that scene. I lost my voice that day actually, but it was really fun.
Oh my God, I could just picture it. All right, Dollar Bill, go in the corner, Dollar Bill. Get out of here, Dollar
Like
Bill.
wear my nose to the wall, like the old, and maybe a dunce cap or something, like old
No, it
fashioned.
was amazing. Well, Kelly, I'm
Yeah.
really happy we were able to do this, man. Thank you
Yeah,
so
this is great.
much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, brother. Appreciate it.
Kevin says you
What do you
play a
say?
great dick.
Hey!
But isn't that like a good, like one of the best compliments you
Totally.
can get? I mean, that's the point, right? You're playing like a
Oh,
not nice guy.
totally. I've never understood. There are actors, and I've been in shows where there are actors who don't like the characters are awful people, and the show doesn't quite work because the person is afraid of being unlikable. Likability is the death of good. Concern about likability, being concerned with that is the death of good acting. Because it doesn't matter. Just enjoy being an asshole. It's great. It's fun to be an asshole. Let the audience decide if they're going to like you. It doesn't matter. Yes, it's very
So,
fun. Anyway,
someone also said, love the chapter of you fighting with Axel.
yeah, probably the same.
Yeah.
Probably talking about the same thing. That's get a load of this maniac. Oh, Quinn Sutherland. She's one of the funniest people. If you follow her on Twitter, one of the funniest people you'll ever read.
That is
She's great.
amazing. Well,
Yeah,
thanks for everyone that tuned in. Kelly, thank you so much, man. I had a
yeah.
blast
Cheers,
chatting
bro.
and catching up, man. It's awesome.
Always, always. Be well. Be safe.
Yeah, you too. You and the
Bye.
family be safe and be well.